Hi, my name is Cristina Sirecomineses and I'm going to talk about the abstract of our project. Well, first, what is an animatronic? Animatronic is a technique that through the use of robotic or electronic mechanism simulates the appearance and behavior of living beings using puppets or other mechanical dolls. But where the animatronics came from? Well, before the term animatronics became common, they were usually referred to as robots. Since then, robots have become known as more practical programmable machines that do not necessarily resemble living creatures. Robots or other artificial beings designed to convincingly resemble humans are known as androids. Animatronic Animatronics is a multidisciplinary field which integrates puppetry, anatomy, and mechatronics. Uh, Animatronics were first used by Disney in 1964 in the film of Mary Poppins, which featured an animatronic bird. Since then, animatronics have been used extensively in such movies as Jaws and the E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which relate heavily on animatronics. Uh, the animatronics figures can be implemented using both computer control and human control, including teleoperation. Um, Motion actuators are often used to imitate muscle movements and create realistic motion in limbs. The figures are usually covered with body shells and flexible skin made of hard and soft plastic materials and finished with details like colors, hair, and feathers and other components to make the figure more lifelike. And now I'm going to talk about the general objective of our project. The general objective of this project is to make an animatronic of the Jack Jack character, which must recreate the movements of this, specifically the movements of the head, the eyes, the mouth, and neck. To do it, we use different procedures such as 3D printing, and we also used servo motors, Arduino, joysticks, and Bluetooth modules.
To perform an animatronic is necessary the use of mechatronic to be able to create systems or designs that seem animate in the state of robotic. We can create animals, creatures, or everything we can imagine. To design the animatronic, it's necessary to know about animation and electronic. Animation is the visualization of a sequence of 3D pictures, designs, or models in order to create an illusion. Electronic is the branch of science that deals mainly with electronic parts. This consists on an electric circuit where we are going to connect all our systems that we will have a function after that. The objectives of this project were to identify how movements with the motors will be carried out, learn the basics of 3D printing, and learn to control the motors with a joystick. Another objective of this project was to reinforce the knowledge about the servo motors that we already had.
Hi, my name is Fernando and I am talking about the state of the art. The first record animatronic was Animatronic Lion, created by Leonardo da Vinci in 1909. He created this animatronic at the request of Kingdom Francisco I. Da Vinci did writing the record on the execution of the project, but there are some details of the mechanisms he used which not supported expert created mechanical. This innovative technology allows animators to seek motion, audio, and visuals, aiming other classic attractions like It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Howlin' Malice. In 1975, animatronic figure of a person is created by Disney and Abraham Lincoln. Get Moments We're Built Mr. Lincoln is a one stage with an audio animatronic representation of the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln.
I'm gonna explain the materials for the project. Servomotors. Servomotors are drive devices for the control of precision, speed, torque, and position It contains inside an encoder known as a decoder that converts mechanical movement into digital pulse interpreted by a microcontroller. PLA. PLA is a filament on thermoplastic made from renewable resources such as cornstarch, tapioca root, or sugarcane, unlike the other industrial materials made mainly from petroleum. This filament is placed in 3D printer and used to make the necessary parts in our project. Arduino. Arduino is a board based on Atmel microcontroller. Microcontroller are integrated circuits in which you can record instructions which you write with the programming and you can use in the Arduino IDE. These instructions allow you to create programs that interact with the board circuits. In this program, it is necessary the code to perform the movement for a joystick and of center buttons. Joysticks. A joystick is a simple controller that has advantage of providing a greater amount of information that we could simply obtain with push buttons. These joysticks are similar to analog levels that have many games consoles or computers. We used to send the signal to the Arduino. Arduino processes the signal and sends us a pulse on the servo motor so we get a movement. Plaster. Plaster is a semi-hydrated calcium sulfate and is often referred to as cooked plaster. It is sold in powder form. Styrofoam. It's a plastic that is introducing air into its mass-forming bubbles, a process known as foaming. So its composition is 5% raw material and 95% air. We use styrofoam ball to use and reference to our animatronic head and skull. How it works. This project tries to replicate the movements of a character. In our case, it will be Jack Jack from the Incredible movies. This will work with servomotor, which will make them make the movements of the eyes, mouth, and neck. To control the servomotors, we are going to use a joystick which will we send the action of the motor and will execute it.
Conclusion. This project was quite interesting because we had to recreate a character. This work served to refines acknowledge that we already had available to put them into the practice. Again, it's a help use to learn new things like Print 3D.